Good evening, and welcome to a joint Planning and Development Subcommittee Town Council meeting. It is Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. It is 6:04 p.m. It's possible a quorum of the Town Council may be present and discuss the agenda items, but voting rights shall be limited to subcommittee members in attendance. First order of business is call to order. Second order of business is roll call. Councilor Marquetti.
Present.
Councilor Kelly is excused. Citizen member Larishel.
Here.
Citizen member Bernadone may be late if not excused. And I'm Chairman Daniel. We have a quorum. Next order of business, item number 3, review, discuss entering into an agreement with Pablo Santiago for a CDBG fiscal year 22-23 commercial rehab project to renovate 44 Hamilton Street's facade for $37,380 and allow the town manager to sign all related paperwork. Entertain a motion to recommend to town council for approval.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Dee Dee, second by Michael. Okay, Peg.
All good news. This is our fiscal year 22-23 CDBG grant for $1.65 million. Of the $1.65 million, we have $500,000 for commercial rehab. This is the first of the projects that we're able to get a contractor and go ahead with the agreement with the property owner to get the work done as soon as possible. The grant allows for signs, awnings, and facades. We'll be doing, as you can see from the design that was included in the packet, we'll be doing the facade and then the awning on the outside. So it should be a big improvement to what already has been a revitalization of that area, right? It'll just be that corner lot at Central Street parking lot that was already renovated.
Very good. Discussion. Council Marquetti.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you. So Pablo Santiago is the contractor who is going to do the work, but he's also the owner of the building. So basically, we are giving a loan to the owner, and he's going to hire himself to do the work.
He's going to hire himself as PDS Construction. So he is, he has a legal entity construction business. And as you can see from the paperwork, he's done a phenomenal job of making sure he got the, corporate business in good standing from the state. He got his contractor's license. He's done all of what's required to become a construction company over the last few years. And it was interesting. The reason he pursued this was because 3 years ago, we tried to do a commercial rehab project at 44 Hamilton Street, and unfortunately, we couldn't get any licensed contractors to submit quotes for the work. And he realized there's this opportunity to do potential construction, and so he started pursuing the creation of a construction company. And we got no other quotes, so this is not as if we had other options in the in the waiting, unfortunately.
But the last time in 2019, Pablo was the same person who went for the loan, for this loan.
So these motions will always be for Pablo Santiago or Vocero Hispano, the owner of the building. They will always be an agreement between us and the property owner, and then the property owner will enter into an agreement with the contractor. So then we will create a contract that will say Pablo and PDS contractors are agreeing that this work will get done for this amount of money.
But Pablo is PDS
Yes,
contractor.
so it is
So
a
basically,
it's a formality.
He's entering into an agreement with himself.
Correct.
And
we cut the check. So once the work is done according to the contract, we then cut a check for both entities, the property owner and the construction company. So the check will say, Pablo Santiago, PDS Construction. If they were two separate parties, one would have to sign off to say, yes, this work is actually done. We would never cut the check if the work wasn't done.
But you don't feel that there's any kind of a conflict here?
I've thought this out a couple different ways. If he was to shortchange himself on the quality of work, it's a lost opportunity for him, right? I mean, this is increasing the value of his business using public money. And so if he was to not fulfill the requirements, or if he was to do substandard work, he's only hurting himself.
But who's to determine he's doing subcontracting work, or subpar work, but him? He's the owner, he's the contractor.
That's not true. So we could hire any contractor, so we would have an agreement with the property owner, and there could be any contractor that could come in and do substandard work, and that owner wouldn't be the wiser, except that we are the ones making sure that they're doing the work correctly.
So this affidavit that was included in this agenda, non-collusion affidavit, it's kind of like, I look at that and say, how could there be a non-collusion affidavit notarized when he's the guy, he's the owner?
Correct. And it's-
So he's, the undersigned bidder agent being duly sworn says he or she has not, nor has any other member, representative, or agent of the firm, company, corporation, or partnership represented by him enter into any combination. The whole thing just doesn't sit right with me. I mean, he is the owner of the building, he is the contractor, he bid on his own project. I don't see how that's not a conflict.
But with regards to the non-collusion, that could also, the non-collusion is just in general. They're not supposed to be colluding with any people involved, right? So that's probably more specific to the town in this case, right? They're not colluding with us to say, you know, we want this job to be done for this amount of money, right? And we'll make sure you get the job. That's the kind of colluding, you know, that could be implied with those non-collusions. But yes, it's supposed to be for all parties, but there's an inevitable, like you say, an inevitable perception of a conflict of interest when you are the owner and the contractor. But again, because we've had no other contractors come forward with quotes, I wonder if, you know, perceptions aside, you know, we go ahead because it's, you know, it's in the benefit of the town to see this property renovated. We have no reason to say he is not working in good faith towards his, you know, his end. And to be able to see these revitalizations happen.
And did you put out these bids, or did he put out the bids?
My office puts out the quote for, the request for quotes.
Mr. Chairman.
So just before I turn it over, just one more question. He has a contractor's license. Can I see a copy of that?
I actually
wasn't
thought-
sure.
I thought it was
Did
a
I include
sign.
it? I may
I saw
not
a
have.
stamp, but I'm not sure I saw
I
an
thought I
actual
saw something like that.
license.
Thought I saw a picture of it.
Maybe I missed it.
Unless it was, I thought I saw his picture. Something.
I just saw a stamp. Not sure that qualified as a license. But that's all I have.
I'll
Okay.
make sure that-
I can
but we can
provide
look
proof
into
of
it.
that.
Mr. Manager.
I just wanted to echo that additionally, we would have to make sure that, you know, there'll be building, you know, the building inspector will be involved because you're gonna have to pull permits for the electrical and the building permit. So we would have that double check of making sure the work's done according to the specs because we do have we would make sure that the building permit was pulled properly, that they have the right,
May I?
you know what I mean? Please.
So I have Pablo on the phone. It was part of the addendum. He can resend it if it's not in the packet. And so I could either look back in the packet in the morning at my desk, or I could send, or if you could
I
send it to me.
know I saw
that'd
it,
be great.
but I know I saw the picture with the individual, so I don't know if it just didn't make it, there was two separate packets, I
I
thought.
don't know if we should
You could text.
have somebody on the phone.
You can look it up on mass.gov. It's public information that he is a certified or a licensed contractor. If that's quicker and easier for you.
We'll make sure we have the information.
But yes,
from
we'll
on
make
that.
sure. Okay, thank you, Pablo. Oh, you're so good. Okay, thank you. All right, bye. He's going to email it and text it to me right now, just in case.
Also, just one more thing. The last time, it was 40 days that they had to get the work done. Does that still apply?
No.
No, all right. Okay, thank you. I'm all set.
Okay.
Is this Frenchie's old building?
Yep.
Yes.
It is Frenchie's. What is in there now?
He has a Latin newspaper, Vocero
Vocero.
Hispano.
Yep.
El Presidente?
And he is, he's in Worcester and was looking forward to being able to have a presence here in Southbridge. He bought the building years ago with the hopes of opening offices here. And he potentially could bring in other tenants also, but they would like to have part of the newspaper in there.
Because I had heard that this was apartments in there.
No,
It's not,
No.
okay. All right,
it's a simple, single-story building.
yeah.
Yes.
Because I knew somebody who was looking for something to open up a restaurant business. And we had looked into
I
that, and
remember
somebody said, oh no,
Frenchies.
it's apartments now. So,
I used to have good
all
trouble
right,
there.
thank you.
All set?
Yeah,
Great.
thank you.
All set?
Yep.
I'm all set. Okay.
I'm just gonna hold off on voting yes on this until everything is
Speaking
presented.
of all.
I'm gonna vote
Okay,
no.
all those in favor? And against? Okay, 2-1. Very good. Not a problem. Okay, item number 4. Review, discuss entering into an agreement with the Department of Energy Resources for the Green Communities Grant for $226,259 to complete weatherization projects at the DPW, Senior Center, and Library, and allow the town manager to sign all related paperwork. Entertain a motion to recommend to town council for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Dee Dee and Mike. Before we discuss, should there be an agenda amendment? There are 2 different numbers that we're looking at here. The motion says 226,259, but the paperwork is 226,549.
It's 226549.
Friendly amendment.
226,549? Okay, friendly amendment, thank you. All right,
I'll second it if I have to.
thank you. 226,549. Okay, Mr. Manager, did you catch that?
Yeah.
What we amended?
Mhm.
Okay, great. Okay, discussion.
I think this is welcome news. So previously, when we started the Green Communities project, or the Green Communities process, you adopted the Green Communities policy, which then opened you up to $250,000, or it was either $200,000 or $250,000 in initial spending, which you've now spent down. That was on high school and middle school lighting. It was on a new boiler here, a new thermostat here, other work around town that totaled up to this initial $250,000. Once we spent that down, that then allowed us to apply for competitive funds. So we have now applied for our first competitive Green Communities grant, and we were awarded. It took a bit of work for us to be able to find projects that were highly eligible, and we landed on these. So it's all good news. I love that it's spread out among a couple of buildings for the benefit of many. And Katie will slowly be taking over the Green Communities grant, and we get a lot of help from CMRPC on the administration of the grant. Our contractor will be Guardian Energy for the projects.
Very good. Discussion. Councilor Marquetti.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, this is great. I'm glad to see it. For some reason, I want to think that we did all of this already, but it must have been the same type of work with different buildings. I remember weather stripping on a couple of buildings. I thought we did this all before, but maybe it was just that we voted to go for the grant, or
Yes.
maybe it was different buildings.
Vote for the building grant. We did do some weatherization at the library. We did the attic installation, so there was
That's what it
a
was.
proposal at the time for these dampers, but we didn't know how much money we were gonna have, plus there was gonna be a match part on some of those dampers, so we didn't pursue that end. We did the attic installation, so this was something in the queue before. You're absolutely right, there was paperwork for that kind of work before, but we didn't pursue that because of the funding, and we just prioritized what we could do on that. The heat pump system, DPW, that's welcome, because we are doing the boiler replacements there too. And there was a lot of hard work into that. There was talk about future opportunities with blowers and trying to retain some of the heat in there. So Rich, Peg, they all work very hard on this. So it's all great things. The senior center, the weatherization there, going on fixing the heating system down there too. With the new doors, and we'll realize some money saving. Well, that we had about $150,000 allocated for the doors and windows and caulking. we're gonna have about 70, or probably a little bit more, because we might have a change order to do the closer for the handicap. But we'll probably have about 80,000, then we can address some windows possibly on that project.
That's a good idea.
So, you know, a lot of good things that we can do. And
Administrative assistant, that would what, would be in your office or no?
That's that CMRPC administration of the grant that I just mentioned.
For some reason, I can't think of what CMRPC is.
Central Mass Planning, Regional
Regional
Planning
Planning
Commission.
Yeah, and I know you'll ask the question, we do pay already an administrative fee, but it's part of the general administrative fee, not for the specific task.
All
So.
right. Okay. I'm all set. Thank you.
All set? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous of all present. Very good. Next. Item 5, review, discuss accepting a waiver of appraisal and damages related to East Main Street construction from Southbridge Associates 2 LLC for permanent drainage easements and temporary construction easements as shown in the plan entitled East Main Street Roadway Improvements Project, Moore Street to 425 East Main Street, and allow the town manager to sign all related documents. Entertain a motion to recommend to town council for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
This is part of our East Main Street project. We're gonna have to take some easements for drainage and any work that we do within the Franklin Realty owned property, so.
Very good.
Just the KP Law worked with those entities and PEG. They worked really hard on this and to
Okay.
get those easements in place so that we can start the construction of that road.
Very good. Okay.
Yes, if you scroll into the packet, you'll see the plan with the property owners listed. So all of the ones addressed within this plan are the Southbridge Associates properties. All the others are forthcoming.
I know it's kind of hard in the written paperwork
To see it
some of them
clearly.
because they,
Well, this is cute.
Yeah, if you'll notice, it's at least 3/4.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 that aren't yet, and then the rest are all Southbridge Associates.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is Southbridge Associates.
Okay, so 2/3.